Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Old School RS video. Today we will obviously be covering today's update, which saw the introduction of a new Slayer task. It saw some new worlds, the tournament worlds, and a bunch of other smaller things. The update wasn't that big, similar to last week's update. It wasn't very big, and that theme is going to continue with updates being pretty small because Fossil Island is just around the corner. Next month we will see the release of the brand new island. So obviously a huge chunk of the Old School development team will be working on that to make sure it's okay when it comes out. So the updates we get up until that point aren't going to be very fantastic. But today, in this update, we have seen the release of a new Slayer task, the Dicerz, I believe that's how you pronounce it. The Inferno Boss. The final boss in the Inferno is now a Slayer task, and the reward for completing the Inferno on task is 100,000 Slayer experience. And it also comes with an increased chance of getting the Inferno pet. Previously, off task doing the Inferno, after completing it you had a 1 in 100 chance of getting the pet. Now on task, if you complete it on task, you have a 1 in 75 chance of getting the pet. With this update we will probably see new timed records on beating the Inferno, because the Slayer helmet does offer a damage and accuracy boost while you're in there, and that does take effect in the Inferno. And it works in the same way as the Jad task. If you get this task and you don't want to do it, you can enter the Inferno, then just leave to wipe the task, to cancel the task. The only way a player can get the Inferno as a Slayer task, the Dicerz Slayer task, is if you have defeated the Inferno previously. So if you're like me and you haven't done the Inferno, hell, I haven't even tried it, I'm just gonna get my ass kicked, I don't really see the point. But if you're similar to me in that you've not done it, you cannot get this task. Jagex are hosting a PvP championship tournament, which will see a tournament for 1v1 players, 5v5 teams, and huge 20v20 teams. This is happening next weekend on the 12th and 13th, with a total of $30,000 prize. In total there are 32 individual players for the 1v1, there are 16 teams for the 5v5, and there's 8 teams for the 20v20. That is a lot of players. In the description below I will put a link to this blog where it goes into detail about the PvP championship. There's an FAQ, there's some competitor information. Unfortunately you can't apply anymore because applications are now closed. But in celebration or preparation for the PvP championship tournament, the tournament worlds are being reopened on world 408 and 409. For those of you that don't know, the tournament worlds are worlds where you log in and you're in clan wars and you have max stats, and there are chests on the tables which have every single piece of gear in them. So if you're not very good at PvP, or you just like to do high level stuff, or you're low level and you want to wear grey armour, you can hop onto these worlds for a limited time, have the best gear you can possibly get in the game, and have max stats, and go PKing in a free-for-all portal, or grab a team and go into the Clan Wars portal versus other teams. These tournament worlds are actually a pretty fun event. I have made goofy videos doing them in the past, which are always fun to do. And in other news, all of these warning messages you see on screen right now have been given a different colour tag so that players can more easily read them or even notice them in the chat box while they're playing Old School Runescape. And along with warning messages having different colours, there's also some quality of life updates, like a right click option to quick buy a cat from Gertrude, some typo fixes, and they've also introduced warning messages for things that get down to 100 charges, like the Trident of the Seas and Swamp. You will now get a warning when only 100 charges are remaining, same with a technical whip, and at 1% scale and 100 dart remaining on the blowpipe you will also now get a warning. And there's also some other stuff. Here's the full list if you want to pause the video and take a read. Poll 56. The list of different questions are just all quality of life messages. At the bottom I noticed they want to introduce a separate tracker added for Lizardman Shaman, because right now if you want to track your Lizardman Shaman kills, you speak to one of the Shazane guards that are also fighting Lizardmen, they tell you, but the number they give you counts Lizardman Shaman and regular Lizardmen, which for whatever reason is a thing. I don't know why the developers thought that was a good idea, because players now don't get an accurate reading of how many shaman they've killed. Instead they get an accurate reading of how many shaman and regular lizards they've killed, which makes absolutely no sense. So months and months later they decide that, okay, let's actually give them a separate tracker for the shaman, for the boss that people actually wanted. There's also some other cool questions that are being polled, like if you pick up ammunition which you already have equipped, should it just instantly go into your equipment slot rather than going back into your inventory? That seems pretty interesting, that seems pretty cool. But there's over like 20 questions here, so I'm not going to go through them all. That is being polled right now, so you can vote on these things if any of them interest you. It is all just quality of life stuff, so I assume most of it will pass. Most of it is just to make our experience, the player experience, a little bit smoother. And that's it for this update. There was two things. There was the Slayer Task, a new Slayer Task for the Inferno. There was the Tournament Worlds, some other news stuff, which was just more quality of life updates and some bug fixes. Then there was a poll that they're introducing. It's not very exciting, unfortunately. I wish it was, because then it would make for a better video, but this is all I've got to work with. Yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching.